If you enjoy a good conspiracy theory and you think the IRS may actually target people intentionally, one person that should definitely look behind their back would be Rosie O'Donnell, because her and Donald Trump don't exactly have a good history together.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs.
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
In this video, I'm going to talk about some of the recent events with Rosie O'Donnell moving outside the US and what I would do if I was Rosie O'Donnell's tax accountant and the things I might be looking into and questions I might ask. So Rosie O'Donnell and Donald Trump go way back apparently, but made famous with the Donald Trump remarks in the debate back in 2016. She famously said that she would leave the US if Donald Trump was elected president in 2024. And sure enough, she did. She moved to Ireland, where she actually has family history. The O'Donnell family is originally from Ireland. They have a Citizenship by Ancestry program in Ireland, as they do in a lot of countries, where you can get citizenship solely through your lineal history. My understanding is that the chain was broken at some point for Rosie O'Donnell, so she's not able to actually gain citizenship through that Ancestry program. So she's stuck being a US citizen, and that means she's living abroad as any other expat with US citizenship. So we're going to talk about what that means from a US perspective. Now, Rosie O'Donnell, I don't know everything about her income and her asset situation, but we can make some reasonable estimates. Obviously, she has popular TV shows and things she's been on in the past where she's going to continue to receive royalties and things like that from. Something like a royalty from an old TV show or a book deal or something like that, it's going to be based on where that royalty was used, or in some cases, if it's like deferred income, it'd be based on where the original service was provided. So in Rosie O'Donnell's case, I wouldn't expect that she's eligible for a foreign earned income exclusion on that income. First of all, it may not be considered earned income. We would have to directly be able to tie it to services that she provided. And secondly, it's probably going to be US sourced. It would be from services provided when she was in the US. So the foreign earned income exclusion's out. If you're liking this video, you should really check out my newsletter where I put out different tips and tricks, latest law changes that can really help you save money and save complexity if you're living or investing abroad. Just think how much you could save with the right tax advice. So she's looking at double taxation without that. So Ireland is going to tax her on her income. The US is going to tax her on her income. So now we're looking at the foreign tax credit. If I'm her accountant, I'm trying to find one of my colleagues in Ireland, and we're going to look at her income situation and make sure we're coordinated with who gets the foreign tax credit on which income, because every type of income is going to have a different sourcing rule, and the treaty is going to dictate who gets the primary taxing jurisdiction over that income. And that's one thing about tax treaties that people misunderstand. They jump straight to the tax treaty and think that's going to exempt income. But the US-Irish tax treaty has what's called a saving clause, which all US tax treaties have, which says that regardless of everything that's in this treaty, if you're a US citizen, you're taxed as if the treaty doesn't exist. So it just takes you back to step one, where you're taxable in the US and you're taxable in Ireland in this case. So what we do from there is we go to the double tax relief section of the US-Irish treaty to figure out who actually gets the primary taxing right at her income. So we're going to take a look at each different source of income: dividends, interest, royalties, fees she's receiving for book signings or speeches. And we're going to source that income and figure out which country gets the foreign tax credit and which doesn't, and making sure we're coordinated with Ireland so that we're taking the same position on both sides. The other aspect of this is, her asset reporting. She's going to need to report her ownership of foreign financial assets, because I'm sure she's going to set up bank accounts and things like that in Ireland while she's living there. So I don't know how far she wants to take this, obviously, because this doesn't necessarily, or it definitely doesn't put her in a better tax position. Now her taxes are just more complicated, and most likely the Irish tax is higher than what she was paying in the US, depending on where she lived. Maybe if she was in California, that boosts your tax up a pretty good bit. It depends on how far she wants to take this and if she's actually trying to expatriate and no longer be a US citizen at all. I haven't heard her talk about that, because I'm sure her net worth is over $2 million, and she's going to be hit with a hefty exit tax if she was to expatriate from the US. So I doubt she's going to take that step. She definitely wanted to get out of the United States where Trump was the president again, but I don't think she's willing to pay the big bucks on her taxes to actually get rid of that citizenship altogether, because it's going to be a big exit tax for her, I'm sure, if she took that step. So if I'm Rosie O'Donnell's tax accountant, I'm making sure she's she's not paying tax twice on all of her income. I'm coordinating with somebody in Ireland to make sure that they're doing things correctly on the Irish side and that we're taking the same positions, and then making sure we're filing timely foreign financial asset reporting, FBARs, Form 8938, so that there's no penalties associated with her account. I obviously don't know Rosie O'Donnell personally, but she definitely has an interesting tax situation that I would love to help her with. So Rosie O'Donnell, if you're watching this, please reach out to me at mcgowintax.com. I'd love to schedule a free consultation with you to talk through your international tax situation. If you're enjoying this video, please take a minute to like and subscribe to our channel and leave a comment below.